Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall, where we throw ideas, see what sticks, and nurture those that do. I'm your host, Armando Leduc, an actor, entrepreneur, and coach, giving you insights that light up your world. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life, serving up a shot of inspiration with every episode. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in.
Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall. I am not Armando Leduc. I am Will Brooks. I'm stepping in for Armando today. He wasn't able to make the show, but I'm the lucky one because I get to talk to a really cool guest today. We have Archith, I'm going to say your name right, Seshadri here on the podcast with us today for the second time. Is that right? You were on about a couple of years ago?
That's right. It's exciting because now I get to talk to you. I talked to Armando last time, so I'm getting the full experience of talking to all the full
Leduc entertainment experience. 100%, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. I'm super excited. I'm off to India tomorrow. So this is my, sort of like my, I don't want to say last hurrah for the year. I think it'll be my last podcast for 2025.
That's awesome. That's very cool. What part of India are you going to?
I'm going to be going to Madras or Chennai and Bangalore. Those are the main two. And then I'll also be going to Mumbai or Bombay and Delhi. So I used to live in Delhi for a couple of years. So go see some of my friends there. So a little family time, a little friend time, and a lot of food time.
How long of a trip is it going to be?
About 3 weeks.
Nice. That's great, man. Very cool. I'm going to New Orleans tomorrow. It's not as cool as India, but I'm going for work. But you know, we're traveling.
Hey, any trip is a trip, right? It gets you out of your comfort zone. It's hopefully motivates and recharges you.
100%. So, Archith, I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're doing. We were talking before you came on. You've got a lot of things going on. You're a journalist. You're a yoga instructor. You do events. You're a game show contestant, aspiring game show host, improv actor, all kinds of hats. So tell me a little bit about you and what you're currently doing and what you're working on and what you do, how you're helping people out.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for asking that. And I love everything that I get to do. I always try to do things that bring me happiness and joy. And none of the things that I do, yes, my plate is full and people are always like, Archith, you're so busy. I'm like, but this is good busy. These are things that I genuinely enjoy and love doing. So my 9 to 5, my job, which I love, and I've been doing this for more than, 15 years full time, is I'm a television news anchor and a correspondent. I run the Atlanta bureau for a company called Nexstar. So I write, produce, report, and edit content for a lot of our stations across Georgia and the Southeast. So primarily I'm covering the state capitol, but when the state capitol is not in session, I'm covering statewide stories, whether it's education stories, scams, sports, sometimes election, anything statewide. So that's my 9 to 5. My 5 to 9, my side hustle, which sort of organically happened, is I am a yoga teacher. So every day after work, I go put on my yoga hat or my yoga tank top and go teach with my mat. And I teach at several different studios in Atlanta. I got certified since the last time we spoke, in fact, in 2022. So I've been doing yoga for nearly 7 years and teaching for 4. And it's a nice way to be grounded and balanced. And I love yoga. I never thought I would, because it helps me just unplug and not talk to anyone and not be on my phone. Yeah. And certainly fitness has become a really important part of my life. So, and as a result of both of those, I started my own company called the Archway Studios, which is events and wellness. So focusing on any kind of events, networking events, and wellness, which is teaching yoga, not just at a studio, but at conferences, at company lunch and learns, at weddings, things like that. And as a journalist, I've also emceed a lot. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty good at this. I can do it. And I enjoy it. I love meeting people. So I also MC and host different types of events, whether it's charity fundraisers, wedding receptions, awards ceremonies, beauty pageants, et cetera, et cetera. So in a nutshell, a lot of the things that I do involve people, involve storytelling, and things I genuinely love doing. So I'm very grateful. I'm excited to see what the next decade will look like.
I love that. That's a lot of what we do in our business is storytelling and getting creative and working with all different kinds of people every day. So that's right in line with kind of our mission and our core values at Leduc Entertainment. So that's awesome, man. I love that you have so many hats on. You said my 9 to 5 and then my 5 to 9. Have you ever seen there's a video of a guy, I don't remember his name, he's a crazy looking guy. He's packing in, what does he say? He's packing in 4 days into 1 day. I'll say, I have to send it to you off the air. It's really funny. This guy's like, yeah, from 9 to noon, from 6 to 9, that's day 1 for me. 9 to 12, that's day 2.
Oh, I
12
love that.
that's day 3. 3 to 6, that's the 4th day of my day. I stack that up 7 times a week, 365 days a year. By the end of the year, I'm kicking your butt. The math doesn't math with what he's saying. It's really funny with this guy.
But it's like productivity and efficiency, and
yeah, this guy's kind of
we all have the same amount of time. It's how well we use it and how
when you see this clip. This clip's pretty famous. I'll send it to you. When you see this clip, you'll laugh. It's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, I love that. I'm already motivated to listen to that. I heard Rob Lowe said that in one of his TV shows. I think it was Brothers and Sisters. And he said something, I get more done in one day than most people get done in a week. And it's not a brag or anything, but I think it just goes to show that we all, have that guilt of procrastination or so many things that we want to get done. But there's a difference between talking and having those dreams and actually executing those dreams.
Yeah. Implementation
implementing them. So
yeah,
for me, it just works with this little friend over here, Post-it. It really does work. I write them down, put 3 things down at least, sometimes more, but 3 that have to get done. And then I put a little time block. I'm like, this has to be done by noon, by 3, by 6. And it's like, it's just nice to take out a pen and check it out. But it does things off is great. Your brain how to get it done.
Love that. So lots of hats, lots going on. The thing that stuck out to me when I was reading about you is you have been on 7 game shows. Is that right?
Lucky 7. That is right. 7 game shows. Yeah.
So I want to talk about that. Which shows have you been on? Did you win? And why so many? Talk to me a little bit about the game show life.
Oh, that's a great question. Why so many? There's so many to do. That's why there's so many. I love games, and why not? I started my very first game show when I was 10 years old, or I appeared on my first game show with my dad in Australia. We lived in Brisbane. I think I saw an ad, and this is 10-year-old Archith, 10, many moons ago. And it was the 9 network in Australia. The TV show was called My Generation, and we were one team competing with another team. It was a mom and son, and it was about the differences in generation. So it was a lot of different puzzles and trivia and watching things backwards, spotting the differences. So we ended up winning that game show, and then me and my dad competed against each other. And that was, just for, just the premise of the game show. Right. And so I beat my dad, even though my dad is super, super smart. He's more street smart. I'm more book smart, and book smart did win. But my dad is like, he's so funny. He's very, he's one of the most smartest people that I know. So for him, when we went on, I remember they were like, oh my God, we're up against these 2 Indian people. The other team were like, we're not going to win. And now that I've gone on so many and I love it, I always don't, yes, of course you want to win. Of course there's that level of competition and competitiveness. But I think you also have to look at it as an experience. And that's how I look at my life. You cannot win everything, and that's okay. But if you have fun with it and are excited and do it with genuine integrity, I think that itself is the win. Getting to be cast on a game show itself is the win.
Sure.
In the acting life, getting the audition is the win. You cannot book every role. So I think just reminding yourself of that is certainly the win. So that was the first one. There have been many more since then. One has not aired yet, so that's the one I cannot talk about just yet. Sure. But the other ones I can is I did $100,000 Pyramid in 2018. So I used to live in India for a couple of years as a journalist, and I came back, and on a whim, I was on ABC's website. I was like, oh, I know this game show. I love words. I like Taboo. And, we do a lot of games. So I did that with Michael Strahan, won $62,000 almost on that one.
Nice.
That one was fun because it was, what do you call it? I had prepared so much for that game show with making lists of categories. And then there was a blooper moment, plenty of blooper moments. There's just a lot that was happening. There are 2 things that will always haunt me. And it's funny, but I like to remember each thing is that I did not know, or really, I think I froze about Jay-Z's wife, and Snoop Dogg was yelling at me like, Beyonce, what? And then I did guess it eventually, so we got the point right, but it just, if you YouTube that, it's so funny.
I'll have to check it out. So you were partnered with Snoop Dogg? That was your
I was with Snoop Dogg, yeah. My celebrities were Questlove and Snoop Dogg. Okay. And so me and the other contestant, her name is Melanie, who I ended up actually, the small game show world, we ended up being on another game show. It's just so funny. I was like, oh, we get to play again. That's the one that hasn't aired yet. But she and I, she was so good in the practice rounds. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be up against her. You're hoping that you're up against someone who's maybe not as good, so you have the better shot of winning. But when the lights go on, the cameras go on, it's a different beast, a different ball game. You could practice everything you want, but it's the luck of the questions, the luck of the celebrities, and luck of what you get. So for those who haven't watched Pyramid, it's a word guessing game.
Right.
And whoever has the most points gets to go to the winner's circle. If you go the first time, you win $50,000. If you go again, you win $100,000. So I was like 62,000, not bad for
Pretty good. Yeah.
pretty good for a day's work. So I was very thankful. And I was in the audience with my mom. My mom was in the audience. I took my mom to New York. They flew us up, put us in a hotel, a little limo. So nice little, was a good way to spend Mother's Day. And I was like, I really hope I win. Yes, I want to win, but also if I didn't win, I think my mom would have been very disappointed. Like, I came all the way to New York and you didn't even win anything. So there was that little added pressure, I think, of having my mom in the audience. But no, it was such a fun time. And I'm still equally in love and obsessed with Pyramid now, many, many seasons on. I was on season 3, and we have a Pyramid alumni group on Facebook. And then it's just nice I'll still watch it. And if we think of something, we'll write, winner circle questions. And it's just a beautiful way to build friendships and relationships.
That's awesome.
With people who share a love for game show. So
Very
that was
cool.
game show number 2.
Okay. And so you've been on 4 more since then?
Yes. Game 1, 2, 5 more since then. I did
4 more that you can talk about, right?
4 more that I can talk about. That's correct. So after $100,000 Pyramid, I was on 25 Words or Less, which was taped in Atlanta. The rest were taped in Atlanta. It was 25 Words or Less, and that I did with my brother. The host was Meredith Vieira, who I love, and I was like, I want to go meet Meredith, and I got to see her and hug her and take a little video. So that was great. So we won that one. So every game show I've done, we won something, whether it's the grand prize or at least getting to the last round.
Right.
We were able to progress and make it through. And I feel like each game show has gotten, as my brother likes to call it, I think I get more and more like excited or extra, as he says. And it's like, oh my God, there's just no. When they're casting for game show contestants, I think they want people who are like energetic and excited. For sure. And I feel like I definitely fit that personality, but I think I probably are like, well, you can tone it down. You don't need to be that high. Like, go a little bit lower, Arch. So that was 25 Words or Less. That was great. The word that we missed in that one, it was so funny. We did so well. We were on 2 episodes. So that's the return champion. You can come back if you win. So episode 1, we taped the last. We're the last episode to tape. So you're there from 6 a.m. We taped at Georgia Public Broadcasting.
Okay.
And we were episode 5 or 6. We lost round 1. We lost round 2. We lost round 3. And I was like, oh my God, we have studied so much. We cannot lose. Like, me and my brother would practice on the phone and, like trying to guess as many. The premise of 25 Words or Less is you want to get 5 words or guess or give to the other person in the shortest amount of words. So you're bidding back and forth between you and the other.
Okay.
So we didn't get the first 3 rounds, but the bonus round where you can come back, we got all of our 5 words, and we ended up winning and going to the last round. So we did that, and in that I accidentally said treasure, and I was like, oh, I meant to say, I think treasure chest. So I meant to say blank chest, and I think I said blank treasure. And I'm like, oh my God, I said the word.
So the word was treasure. Yeah. Okay.
Which I will always treasure. But it's like, okay, well, I was like, we're done. We did it. We made it through. Come back the next day. So the next day, which is the second episode, we killed round 1. We killed round 2. We like crushed round 3. Funny comment, throwback to the Beyonce comment. My word was singer or sing. And I think I was like, I have to redeem myself from the last game show. So I told my brother Beyonce, and he said singer. I'm like, yes, we got it. Anyway, inside joke, a little fun.
That's
so
nice.
We crushed the first 3 rounds, but the bonus round we did really well, except we couldn't get one word, which was the word pixel. I'm like, I have an Apple iPhone. I don't have a pixel. And of course, now when you say it, like when you're not stressed or thinking about it, like of course, Google phone pixel makes sense. But if you don't have it, it's not the first thought that comes to your mind. So we didn't make it through, but I was like, you know what? The example of what I said earlier, we still won the first episode. We made it through. We got some great prizes. And I really wanted the other team to win. They were 2 young college girls from Georgia, and they did win. They won 10,000. Like, I'm so thrilled and excited for you. You cannot win everything, but you have to be grateful for what you have and how that was. That was game show 3. And then I've done Bingo Blitz, done Flip Side, and Scrambled Up. I can talk about Scrambled Up because it just aired too. And
are these like on? Where do these air? Are these on like Game Show Network, or where do these? These are shows I have. Those last 3 I have not heard of.
Yeah, I think they're Game Show Network. So Bingo Blitz is Game Show Network. Flip Side is also Game Show Network. And Scrambled Up right now is, I think it's in syndication, but I'm not sure which network will pick it up. Usually they all end up on Game Show Network. So even Pyramid
recorded in Atlanta.
Words, all of these were recorded in Atlanta, except for Pyramid, which was in New York. Everything else was in Atlanta.
Right.
So yeah, that's my
so what's
nutshell in a game show. Seven game shows I've done.
That's really cool, and I know you aspire to be a game show host eventually.
I do. That's really why I go on the game shows. Actually, that's the secret sauce. I can't tell that to casting.
That's how. What's the guy who hosts Jeopardy now? Ken Jennings.
Ken Jennings. Yep.
Yeah, that's how he got that gig, because he was really good at Jeopardy. So I mean,
right.
We lost Alex Trebek.
I know, unfortunately, but no, I know what you mean. It's like right time, right place.
Yeah.
I always am a big believer of putting things out in the universe and manifesting and working hard for it. And one of my goals and pitches is like, listen, I know what it's like to interview people because I do that every single day as a journalist. I know what it's like to be a game show contestant because I have done 7 and hopefully more, unless I become a host first, then the game show contestant world's end. But I know what it's like to win, lose, or draw. I know both of those things.
Hey, that's a game show too.
Exactly. So I know both of those worlds, and we'll see. We'll see what the universe decides to serve.
That's really cool, and you got another one coming up that we'll all have to keep our eye out for. That whenever that happens to be, that's very cool. So you're wearing a lot of hats, a lot of identities. A lot of people feel stuck in one identity. I want to know from you, Arch, what's one of the scariest pivots that you've had to make in your life, and how did you know that it was the right move to make when you did it?
I think the scariest pivot was when I left a lucrative job in consulting at Accenture. I was there for about 6 years. I finished my master's at Georgia Tech, got my degrees in engineering, and I went into consulting because a lot of consulting companies hire engineers because of problem solving, etc. Sure. So I did that for about 6 years. And while I did it, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't know if this is the job I want to do for the rest of my life. And I think there was that point where you could either go to B school and get your MBA, and sort of that was one trajectory, or stay within the company and keep getting promoted, maybe eventually making partner. And I sort of went with option number 3, which was the road less traveled. I said, I've written in the college newspaper. I wrote for the Georgia Tech paper called The Technique, and I genuinely enjoyed meeting people. There was just never a lot of money. So it was like that lucrative, like, well, what do you chase? Your passion, or do you go chase profits? What do you decide? And I was like, well, I was 26 at that time. I said, if I don't do this now, it's only going to get harder. And when I talked to one of my senior directors, her name is Marla, and she was great. She's amazing. I still talk to her now. She says, we can't even offer you more money, like match it, because you're taking a pay cut. So it was one of those, I'm like, I just have to do this for myself. And I went to a small market and worked my way up. And that was the biggest transition, leaving a lucrative career in consulting and going into journalism and taking a bet on yourself, taking a risk on myself. Because now I look back, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I did that, because that's opened up so many more doors. Sure. And I don't know if that would have happened if I still stayed in a comfortable cubicle job. I'm not made for cubicles. It's just not me. So glad it paid off, but I don't want to be complacent. I think there's more layers to the onion that I need to peel.
So did you go to journalism school? Did you go back to school for that? Or did you just kind of dive in?
I just dove right in. I didn't go to journalism school. I was part of journalism organizations and got my foot in the door that way. And I interned at CNN. I worked at a small station in Macon, Georgia on the weekends. I would work full time 5 days a week and then go drive down on the weekend as an associated producer and learn literally how to do everything. And learn how to write, shoot, edit, post, produce, be a reporter, be a producer, be a web digital writer, all of that. And that was my school. And I remember walking around everyone's cubicles, because that was the weekend, so most people weren't there, and looking at people's notes and oh, journalism tips. How do you write? How do you not write? And shadowing the people who were there and soaking it all in. And because a lot of people said, you don't need to go to journalism school and spend all that time. And so I figured, well, let's be street smart, not book smart.
On the job training, man. There's no replacement for that.
Right.
Okay. So you did the internship. How did you get what was the first journalism job that you got? Like, how did that happen for you?
So the internship was at CNN. That was the Science and Technology Department. That was back in 2006. So almost 20 years. Next year will be 20 years. 2026. Because I was in grad school at Georgia Tech, I was able to get the internship. So that was, again, what can I do now with where I am to get the internship? So that was the starting point. That helped me make a demo reel. So if you want to be a reporter or an anchor, they want to see how you look like. How do you look like? How do you sound like? What do you dress like? So I hired someone at CNN to help me shoot my demo tape. And that I learned by going to the South Asian Journalists Association conference, SAJA, and the Asian American Journalists Association, which I'm still a member of. And a part of. I was a former president in the Atlanta chapter. But going to that and joining these professional organizations teaches you what you need and what you don't need, your resume, and how to craft it for a certain job. And as we know, right, our acting resume is very different than maybe our business resume. Everything is very different, and you got to customize that. My first job was the job at 13 WMAZ in Macon. So that was the weekend gig. So I was still working full time, and that was the weekend one. And then I had to make that point in 2010 to leave consulting behind. I said, you know what? I got to do it. I got to rip off the Band-Aid. And I went to WJBF in Augusta, and that was my first full-time television market. And I was hired as a reporter. Eventually got promoted to be an anchor. I helped launch the weekend morning newscast. And from there, I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, to the Fox station. Then I came back to Atlanta at CNN International. I went behind the scenes for a little bit to be in the assignment desk, field produce and segment produce some of the domestic shows.
Cool.
And then I ended up getting a really cool opportunity in India because our division, the international desk we found out one day, walked in, and I'd never been laid off or fired. Your entire desk is now laid off and you have to reapply for our jobs. And I was kind of like freaking out. It's like, what do I do? I don't know. I've never been laid off. And It's like, well, welcome to the news business. Welcome to journalism, right? That's how the industry is. But again, I'm very thankful for that. I'm not mad or upset. That helped me get a job in India as an anchor at one of the global English networks. And I had put this out there, put that energy. I'm like, I want to be an international correspondent. I want to go and live abroad. And I didn't get to study abroad, and I wanted to do that. So because I had the layoff, or because I got laid off and I talked to people about it, I was networking lunches or coffees. So people knew. Someone connected me to somebody else who was hiring for this job in India, in New Delhi. The channel is called WION, World is One News. It's a part of Z News. And I interviewed, and they're like, yeah, come on down. I was like, oh, this is real. It's happening. Like, I just kind of was like, let me just go for an interview and see what happened. They didn't actually think too many more steps ahead.
Lo and behold, they hired you.
And they did. They hired me. So I was there for nearly 2 years, 2016 to 2018. And was anchoring about 5 hours a day. I hosted a tech show, an entertainment show, a breakfast show. So it was a lot. It was fun, but cool. It was a lot. It was a great experience, and I learned a lot. And it was beautiful to bring all the knowledge that I had from working in newsrooms in the U.S. and most of those were local newsrooms, and taking that to more of a network or a national/international newsroom, and bringing that and explaining my skills and learning from everybody else who had different levels of talent and skills. So super fun. Then I came back to Atlanta. Then I did the Pyramid Game Show. And then I ended up with the job that I have right now. And they saw me on social media. They were like, my bosses were like, hey, we saw that you're back. We have this bureau in Atlanta that we're opening. Do you want your job? Do you want this? Can you run it? I was like, all right, I'll do it. Always say yes.
Always say yes.
Say yes and figure it out. And of course I knew how to do it. And one of the best things that I've learned at this job is learning how to shoot on my phone and managing my time really well. I know for a lot of younger journalists and people getting into the business now, people are a little overwhelmed, and there's a lot in the economy. But I think if you can learn how to master this device, not just for doom scrolling and scrolling through TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, like I can shoot with my phone, I can edit, and you have portable mics and a little stand. It makes your job so much easier, but you're also so much more versatile. You don't need to lug a big old camera.
Is that what you're using now? If you're at the Capitol and you're doing a report, you're recording it, editing it all on your phone, and then sending it into the station, and that's what they're airing?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So if there's a press conference, if there's something that, we're interviewing the governor or the FBI, or when there's multiple cameras, the small camera is not going to work. But if I'm interviewing, if I'm interviewing you or you're interviewing me, this works perfectly well. And the quality is phenomenal. You can have a portable mic. And so I will do all the editing and the shooting, send it to myself and edit on my laptop on Adobe. But I also know how to edit on this push comes to shove.
That's cool.
And a lot of people don't get intimidated when you have a phone.
Yeah.
As opposed to a big camera. They're like, oh my God, I don't. This is a lot easier to manage, and it's a lot easier to carry, but it's also great quality. So I think really learning and keeping up with the times as technology evolves is equally as important. And that's certainly been something that is a win.
Let me ask you real quick. I want to know, because we work with a lot of the clients that we work with. We're doing stuff on camera, right? We're shooting content for them. We're doing podcast production for them. And there's a lot of folks that we go work with that it's their first time and they get super nervous being on camera. They get all in their head, and they're worried about what they look like and what they sound like, and having the right thing to say. When you were starting out, having not gone to journalism school, having not studied broadcast journalism, where you do get a lot of that experience, when you're going through school. You kind of stepped in without that. Did you have any of that discomfort of being on the camera? Were you always comfortable with it? And second to that, I want a piece of advice from you for people who are stepping in front of the camera for the first time. If they're a business owner and they're building out their personal brand or their business brand, and they got to go on, they got to make social media content, they have to put themselves out there. How did you get yourself comfortable, and what's a one actionable tip that someone who's thinking about doing this can put into play today?
I love that, and I'll absolutely tell you this. I think the first time I was ever on camera was for news was in 2006 when I was an intern, and we made our demo tape, and I still have, and I watched it. I'm like, oh my God, it's still cringeworthy, but I'm like, that's okay. No one is perfect the first time ever. I think I would move my eyebrows a lot. I'm like, I'm not really sure where I'm looking. I'm also I use my hands a lot. So learning to calm my hands down, and my hair would be a lot taller than this and spikier. So going to these conferences, these are all the things I learned, like keep your hair, trimmed, neat, prim and proper. Sometimes, especially the last couple of years, and this is a work in progress. I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm very comfortable with athleisure. And so my boss was like, Arch, can you kind of put on a little coat, cut a little suit and tie, or at least a blazer. So I did that at least for this interview. Waist down, I'm in my pajamas, but you can't see that. That's okay.
Okay. I'm wearing sweatpants too, so don't worry about it.
Right, comfortable. It's comfortable. So I would say dress the part, record yourself, and watch how you look, sound, and pace yourself. I'm someone who generally speaks a little faster, so I'm mindful of that. And if you are trying to promote your business or your brand, or you're going to be interviewed by the news, or know what you're going to say. I think it's as simple as that. You don't need to use big words. I think keeping it simple is very important, but also succinct is equally, speaking in sound bites. What is the story that you're trying to tell? And one of the first news jobs, it was back in Augusta 2010. Me and another coworker of mine, her name is Kate Rayner. I made it because I didn't go to journalism school, so I would have to come up with things on my own to make sense of how to navigate television journalism. So I would say we have characters and we have officials. Officials are your cops, your lawyers, your city council members, the official soundbite. Telling you. The characters are the personalities, the people impacted by the stories. So people who are watching or listening, if you have a business, if you want to get your information out into the world and be memorable and tell me the story. I started this business because it reminded me of blah, 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 blah. And, I really enjoyed this. Tell me all the feelings, the emotion, the history, the context behind it. You don't need to go into all the details and numbers because people get overwhelmed. But if you tell me a good little story, people will remember that. And here's a simple one. Let me ask you. If I ask you, what's your favorite color? What would you say?
Orange.
Orange. Thank you for that. My favorite color is turquoise because I love the beaches. I love going to the beach and seeing the crystal clear waters and how sea green and turquoise it is. And, I went to Grand Cayman for my 40th and I loved it because the waters were so serene and they were turquoise. Now, which of those two stories will you remember?
Oh, yours is way better. I said one word. So yeah.
It's a good analogy, right? Yours is great
too.
I'm just saying, I saw that. I'm like, that makes so much sense.
That's great.
Yes, orange is there, but it's turquoise what you're gonna remember. So
you just called me out because when we're coaching new clients on hosting a podcast, for example, we tell them to never ask their guest a question that can be answered with one word.
Absolutely.
You're setting yourself up for failure. If you're asking them a yes or no question, you're going to get a yes or no back, and then you're stuck with a lot of time to fill. And I just committed that sim myself.
It's okay. I sort of set you up for that, though. I set you up for that. But that's okay. That was spaghetti in the wall. It's all right. It's all right. Spaghetti in the wall. I say don't ask yes or no questions. You said, like, do you think? Because what are they going to say? Yes or no? Or you can flip it and be like, how do you feel about situation X? Or
Y? Like, how do you feel? I also like, tell me about this. Tell me more about that. That always works really well. So
my favorite one is the magic wand question. So this is another little journalism / interview pro tip. Please, if you'd like to use it.
Tell me. Yeah.
I gave you a magic wand. What is it that you'd want to happen? And that could really be for anything, right? If you're a taxpayer, or if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're a patient, whatever that is. Hey, I'm going to give you a magic wand to wish for something that you could hopefully improve. What would that be and why? It literally sets them up for success, or gives them, I want X, Y, Z because of it's going to cost me so much more otherwise. And if I gave that magic wand back to myself, I want to be a game show host because there is no other Indian American game show host yet. We have Ryan Seacrest, we have Ken Jennings, but listen, you need Archith Seshadri, and he's coming to a screen near you.
I'm there for it. So that leads me to my last question for you, Arch. What?
Oh my God, we're almost done. What?
Yeah. So magic wand.
Yeah.
A little more specific magic wand question. You got a magic wand.
Okay.
To create your own game show and be the host of. What is the game show? Like, do you have one in mind? I think a lot of times back in the day, like in the 70s, a lot of the hosts created the shows themselves. They were their shows. And so they would host them. Maybe not in the 70s, maybe a little further back, but I think that was the case a long time ago. You create a show, you host it yourself. You're the game show host. What is the game that you want to host? What does it look like? What are we playing?
That is such a great question. I would love something on world trivia because I've lived abroad and been very international. But I think just some level of taking some of the elements of the games I've already done and make it into my own version of it. So I think just because I'm a journalist, there's got to be some level of like words and, like unscrambling the word or hitting the right tile. Another game show which I personally love playing is Codenames. Absolutely love Codenames. Codenames is again a word guessing game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you played it, but that doesn't exist. So maybe taking classic board games, taking them and spinning them onto a television show, which my own version of it, when that's where the trivia comes in, or some kind of like, the bonus round, we're going to go to this and something like that. So I haven't mapped that out yet. So that's my homework. So I got to go do that before I manifest it. But I think there's so much excitement when it comes to a game show. Like my parents will still watch Family Feud. My mom will yell out the answers. Game shows bring people together.
Yeah.
There's so many different types of game shows, whether it's a word game, trivia game, like a luck game. So that's you can't go wrong with it. I think that's the fun part. And I think finding something that is relatable is certainly
I think
exciting.
there's always an audience for that for games, because A, you can play along, and B, you get to kind of follow someone's story about whether they're going to win or not.
I love Weakest Link. I love Weakest Link, especially. I've not been on that one, but it's one of those, like, it's got trivia, but it's also got a dose of reality
and drama.
Drama. Yeah. So that's the theatrical, the actor part of it coming out. And I saw there was all these like the game show The Mole, and I think there's $1 Million Secret. All of these Netflix shows where it's like
reality game shows. Yeah,
reality game shows. I'm like, you know what? It's fun because you get to see a little bit. You get to understand the contestants.
The only we used to have appointment TV viewing right before streaming. There was network television, and we watched the same. There's certain things you want to watch every week. My wife and I have one thing that we watch together every single week. We still watch Survivor. We still watch it, and that's a game show.
I've never watched an episode. I've never watched Survivor.
Oh man, Survivor's great. You got to check it out. Never a wrong time to get into Survivor. I think they're about to have their 50th season next in the spring. So they've been doing it. It's 25 years.
Wow.
Well, the show's been on for 25 years. They do two a year. So, but we still love Survivor, man. That's still our and I tell people that I'm like, you watch Survivor? And I'm like, hell yeah, I watch Survivor. It's great. It's a fantastic show. Don't shame
American Idol and I think Dancing with the Stars were my two, and The Apprentice. I think those are the three that when I was growing up, were the ones I'm like, oh, I have to. People would call me like, I can't talk right now. I have to watch it. Granted, they're still going on. Like, now we have streaming, so you can replay and watch that. But right now, I think my focus is more on the game shows that are the new game shows that are being introduced and launched. But reality shows are fun. And for those people auditioning for a game show, let me give you a little insider baseball.
Tell us
I
how
also
to do
create a little community of all the people that I've done game shows with. I have a little WhatsApp group. But the main thing is know how to play the game. Know the game you're playing. By watching episodes or at least understanding some basic level of it. B, have a great fun fact or story. Like my fun fact is I've never gone trick-or-treating. I've never gone to a football game, and I don't know how to wear a tie. I'm pretty sure you'll remember at least one of those fun facts. Those are all true fun facts. I'm a journalist. I do not know how to tie a tie. My dad still ties it for me. I don't really have a sweet tooth, but I came here when I was in high school, so no trick-or-treating for Arch. Not a big sports fan, so yeah, never gone to a football game. But have a fun fact. A memorable story like, oh my God, I remember this kid. And 3 is just, what are you going to do with the money? And even if it's not what you're actually going to do with the money, producers want to hear something outrageous. Like I've heard, I'm going to make different ice cream flavors of all the places I visit around the world, so I get to taste all the countries that I visited to, or something like that. I said for Pyramid, I'm going to design clothes, which are colorful and bright suits and ties for men, because most men's suits are like this, black and blue or gray. So know how to play the game, be memorable with a fun little fact, and know what you're gonna do with the money, even if it's don't just I'm gonna go travel or pay off a mortgage.
The fun fact and the what you're gonna do with the money, are those questions you get asked when you're kind of auditioning for going on a show? Are those things that they want to know?
They always ask you that. They always, because that's what they're going to give the host. They're going to give the host like, hey, if you win this, what are you going to do with that money? So that's usually a way to get it. They want to get reaction. And some people have really genuine, like heartbreaking stories, but not everyone always at that point in your life.
Yeah, I'm going to pay for my father's medical care or whatever it might be. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So I wouldn't lie about,
sure,
a sad story like that, but you
can lie about who you are.
Right. Be authentic. Be who you are. But you can always say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna paint every color of my house a different color because it represents a different emotion or emoji, and put emoji stickers on that. I don't know, something really funny.
Yeah.
And whatever that works for you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. Don't just say, oh, I want to pay off my mortgage. Oh, I want to go travel first class, because people usually will default to that. So coming up with something like that helps. Also, just even if you mess up, having fun and being excited and not making it obvious that you lost. And this goes back to what we said earlier about being comfortable on camera. If you really want to be, good on TV, or, you don't have a lot of experience, literally pick up your phone and record yourself on a Ring or a laptop and just see how you are and keep getting better at it. And I promise you, the more you do it, listen, I look at my CNN tapes and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. And I feel like we get better and better. It's like practicing perfect 100%. Practice makes
that is what we tell our clients as well. Is the sooner you get started, the more content you shoot, the better you're going to get at it, the more authentic you're going to become, and the more people are going to your message is going to resonate, your stories are going to resonate with people. So
what game show are you going to be on, by the way, before we wrap up? What are you going to be on?
Game show would I be on?
Yeah, I give you the magic one, man.
I would love to do. I think I would really love to do The Amazing Race. I think that would be really fun.
My God, that would be really fun. Yeah.
When you watch it, it just looks like a lot of fun. I don't know whether my wife and I would or not if we were on it together, because you got to go on with a partner. But
that's true. Chopped is also really fun. Chopped, like the food and getting.
Yeah, Chopped is. We like Chopped. we like to cook, so maybe that. But I think The Amazing Race, because the experience, you get to travel all over the world.
And they fly you around the world, right?
And you have adventures, and it just looks like a lot of fun. It looks stressful, but it looks like fun stress. So I think that's for me.
I always joke, I will never get up early unless it's for flight. So yes, Amazing Race. Even if it's an early flight, it's worth it. You're going to a different part of the world and having a lot of fun with it. So at the end of the day, just have fun. Don't make it complicated.
That's me, man.
Life is a game show. This is the
life is a game show. Yeah, and you're gonna win some and you're gonna lose some. So.
Absolutely, I love that.
There you go, Arch, man. I could talk to you all day. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Before we wrap it up here, I want you to let people know out there how they can get in touch with you, how they can find you, how they can find your business. The yoga event business, is that?
It's events and all those things. Yes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
How do folks get in touch with you? How they find you?
Well, if you would like to connect, would love to chat and meet you. The easiest place to go to my website. It's just my name. It's Archith, ARCHITH.com. And on that, you can go to my Instagram, which is Archith Seshadri, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my YouTube. So just go to my website. Everything else will sort of follow through. I'm mostly on Instagram a lot. It's I always say it's Arch, like the St. Louis Arch or the McDonald's Arch, and then ITH. So not super hard. But if you have any questions about being on a game show, about being in television news, about acting, about yoga, I can hopefully help you out in one of those things, but don't ask me how to tie a tie. Still not an expert on that.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on again and talking to me and kind of give us a little insight into your world. Those of you who are watching the live stream out there, oh man, appreciate you giving us the time and giving me some good stories, man. I've really enjoyed the conversation. Those of you out there who are watching the live stream out there, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We really appreciate follows and likes and stars and thumbs and all those good things. So please make sure you do that. If you're watching the recorded version after the fact, we also appreciate you and appreciate your subscriptions, subscribing, clicking the buttons. We need that. That's how
they follow you. Wait, I gotta return the favor. How do they follow you?
Leduc Entertainment produces the podcast, so when they find this, they're on our page. But it's Leduc Entertainment is us. You can find, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Arch, you can get me at willdavidbrooks.com. Will David Brooks on Instagram. That's the best way to reach me.
Right now, Will David Brooks.
Do it, man. Hit me up. We're local to each other. We're right around the corner from each other.
We're like an hour apart, right? So I thought you were like on the other side of the country or something.
No, everybody else is in New Orleans. I'm in the Atlanta area, so.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been a great episode of Spaghetti on the Wall. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. So
I've had a great time.
Thank you so much for coming on. I think we got some more episodes coming this week with some more guests. Hopefully they bring as much good stuff to the table as Arch has with our conversation today. But for now, that is Spaghetti on the Wall signing off, and we'll see you guys again right back here really soon. Thanks again, Arch.
Bye-bye. Thank you.